Welcome back to a mini episode of my podcast, The Authentic Man with David Chambers. I do these episodes regularly every week, pretty much, to just give you a snippet of what you can get in the bigger episodes. And this is just with me. And today I'm going to talk about something that I keep speaking to men and women about. Is this desire to wait for motivation to take action in your dating life, right? Or anywhere really in your life, to be honest, right? Is that we're waiting for a feeling to take action in an area that's important. And what we don't realize is that that feeling may never come, because if this thing is important to you and you have some underlying patterns and resistance and fears and worries, motivation to do anything in this area is not going to come, because motivation, if it came, it would push you into stepping outside your comfort zone, outside of where you're uncomfortable. And your identity, your ego does not want you to be uncomfortable. It wants you to be comfortable. So if you are, like, oh, when I feel like when I get that feeling, I'm going to go and date, or I'm going to do something in my relationship and make a difference and change, or whatever it is, right? Whether it's going to the gym, whatever it is, you're not going to get the feeling. Because if your identity is more um concerned with keeping you where you are, which most of our identities are, most of our identity in our ego, right, wants us to stay where we are, wants us to stay safe, even if safe is really fucking uncomfortable. Even if safe is like being lonely and sad and unhappy and friendless and dateless and sexless, right? That might sound like, why would I want to keep myself there, right? But if that is the message that you get from your beliefs, if your deeper beliefs tell you unconsciously or consciously that you are unlovable, or you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or no one loves you, or you don't belong, right? Or there's something wrong with how you look, all these things, for you to go and get the motivation to make a difference in your dating life, for example, right? And start to date people and start to experience yourself as lovable, as worthy, as interesting, as kind, and all these things, you would have to step outside of your identity. And your identity doesn't want that. Your ego does not want you to go and prove it is incorrect, because it's trying to keep you safe. And it does keep you safe by keeping you sad and lonely and unhappy, or in the same cycles of eating, or in the same cycles of not exercising. You know, for example, say for instance, you have a belief that, I don't know, women are only attracted to men with money, right? If you have that deep belief and you believe that is true, then that keeps you, and you don't have money, obviously, right? Or whether money is to you. If you keep holding that belief, right, you're not going to step out and do anything, because you're like, oh, women don't want me. Now, if you start stepping outside of that belief and going, actually, I'm going to test to see if women really are really interested in money or not. And you start believing like, hey, women are interested in men who are interesting and kind and generous and so forth, like you are, right? You're going against your ego. You're going against your identity in this belief. And unless you're really consciously going against that belief, right, and you're getting support, you're getting accountability, or you're really like searching for evidence to disprove that original dysfunctional belief, right, you're going to just keep ending up proving to yourself that that belief you have is true. And I know this sounds crazy, but I've seen it happen again and again in my own life. And I've seen it happen again and again in men that I've coached, where, for instance, there's guys and they're coming to me and they were doing the work, and they look in their patterns and they go out on dates and they date. Their belief might be that they're not interested, or not interesting or attractive. And then they go on a date, and then we talk through how that date went. And they're like, oh yeah, really early on, she said her ex-boyfriend was, I don't know, man, a bricklayer. And, he's a computer scientist or something. He's a programmer. He's like, oh, well, that means that he was built and I'm not built, so she's not going to be interested in me. You're like, wow, you made this assumption out of this tiny bit of information she said, right? It's like we do this when we are trying to prove our negative beliefs to be true. We are searching for evidence of them all the time. And it's very hard for us, right? Unless we're really consciously doing it, trying to search for the evidence of the new beliefs that we want to instill, right? And I see this with the guys that I've worked with. Particularly think of one client who I spoke to recently. He messaged me and he said he's in a new relationship. It's like he was searching for evidence that he's unattractive, and he kept finding it. You know, in a simple look a woman will give him on the street, or a date that he went on, right? And then when we started to instill a new belief of that, women love talking to him and love dating him, right? And he started to consciously search for evidence of that in his dates, in his online dating, in his life, in his work. His whole view of himself started to shift and change. But there were numerous times where he found himself creeping back into those old beliefs. So this is why motivation is enough. And what you really need is structure. You need accountability. You need support, and you need to stay in the energy of your new belief. And I guess I'm talking about this now as I wrap up, is that I have a program that I'm running now, men's dating accelerator. That's going to be starting literally in a week. So if you listen to this very soon, it's going to be coming out. So if you're interested, I've still got 3 spots left for men. So if you're really looking to accelerate your dating life, get into action, put motivation to one side and get inside the structure of what I'm working with and the men that are being supported by me, to actually make a difference in your dating life, to learn how to express yourself, to learn how to have fun on your dates, to learn how to create deep connection, to learn how to approach women with real ethical nature in day-to-day life. As well as I've got a special module, a guest coming to teach all about online dating mastery. And she's an absolute wizard when it comes to online dating and helping men get really great profiles. So if you want to know more, you got to go to my show notes for that. And one more thing before I go. I knew there was something else. I'm also running my signature 12-week program, which is called Being an Authentic Masculine Man. And really, I take you through a much wider range of stuff than the dating program in terms of purpose and mission and presence and awareness and sex and sexuality, and just a beautiful journey through what I say are like the foundations and the advanced pieces of really how we connect to ourselves and learn more about who we are, but also how we connect to our partners in our relationships or dating or friends. Like everyone that comes out of the program comes out with more confidence, more joy, more happiness, like deeper connections, new relationships get formed, and people's relationships are saved. There's literally been people whose relations were on the brink, and when they finish the program, the connection is deeper than ever before, beyond what they ever thought was possible. So if you're interested in this as well, this program is also starting in February. Sorry, my words leave me there. On February the 21st. So if you're interested in that, there's also a application form, a short form to fill out, and then I'll get in contact with you and we can talk about how you can jump on that.